Welcome back to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Boom. Right. I have myself two Port Charlotte whiskeys. They're going to face off here today on the Whiskey Review Show. MC01 versus the MRC01. As always, nose taste finish reviews of these fine single malt whiskeys coming your way. I'll tell you a bit about their value, give you my final thoughts, final score, tell you which one of these I prefer, if any, and leave you with a malt musing. Before we get started, I'm going to get some of these in the glass, and while I do that, if you've yet to hit that subscribe button. That'll make sure you don't miss these whiskey reviews, which I'm dropping every Friday here on YouTube. I also have that Tuesday happy hour every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love to see you join in the chat. Hang out. Okay. Port Charlotte. This comes from the Bruichladdich distillery over there on the famous Scottish Isle of Islay. Port Charlotte is their heavily peated line, not the heaviest peat. That would be the Octomore line from Port Charlotte. But Bruichladdich has been putting out these Port Charlottes for a while now. And what we have here are part of what they call, let me make sure I just get this right, there's Cask Exploration Series. So the tail of the tape here, the MC01, distilled 2009. This is a 9-year single malt whiskey. And one of the things about Bruichladdich, which I just have to lift up and praise, they are really the gold standard when it comes to disclosure of what their whiskey's all about. And I'm going to show you why in a second. So we have the vintage statement of 2009. Here it says, all right, this is aged in ex-bourbon casks and Marsala. I believe that is correct. Here we go. We only use the best casks available. And in this case, the wood had previously held Marsala wine for 9 years, 9-year age statement. So the malt's 9 years old at minimum. The result, blah, 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 and vanilla from French oak. So it's French oak and Marsala. The MRC01, this is 2010 vintage. This one in particular, 50% of the original spirit aged in first fill bourbon casks. The other 50% second fill wine casks. These are brought together and over a year in exceptional French oak from Bordeaux, so red wine. They are married together. So a more red wine driven and a more Marsala wine driven. Here are the bottles. And again, here it says everything you need to know basically about this whiskey is on the bottle, with the exception of the casks, which is on the tube. But they do say 9 years in oak casks here on the MC01. This is bottled at 56.3% ABV. And if you take a look, just double check here on the bottle. Maybe not. You got to check it over here on the tube. It says natural color, coloring free, and non-chill filtered. Wish they would put that on the bottle. And the MRC01, 7 years old, bottled 2010, or bottled 2018, distilled 2010, 59.2, so a bit higher on the ABV. This is a 7-year age statement, as I said. And this one is also non-chill filtered in natural color. So Bruichladdich really, in a combination of the tubes and the bottles here, really telling you everything you need to know as a consumer about these whiskeys. Bravo on them. Okay, so this is their heavily peated whiskey that has been put into some different types of casks to see what else we can get out of it and see how it works. I'm going to show you a brief color. So these are the natural colors of this. This here, let me put this in. This is your MC01, the Marsala, and this is the MRC01 with the Bordeaux red wine and bourbon cask. A little bit more light red on the MRC. Also 2 years younger. Okay, let's start this off. Last thing I will mention, these are both, of course, they say Islay single malts, but technically the technical term is just single malt whiskey, which means it's all malted barley, 100%, and it is single is one distillery. A lot of folks on Islay like to brand it as an Islay single malt, showing you its origin. So that's what that means. That's the tail of the tape. Let's get into this. MC01 on the nose. Really, really strong, fruity, dense whiskey. Nice peat smoke, ashy, but a lot of orange, a lot of like kind of dark burnt orange. There's a richness to this on the nose, darker kind of apricot, maybe even some pineapple. There's a nuttiness to this. Vanilla coming through, quite nice. This is more on the sweet fruity side, and then of course smoke, which I guess we characterize as kind of oaky / medicinal. So oaky and sweet. Okay, let's get in the nose on the MRC01. 2 years younger. Again, the MC01, 9 years, MRC01, 7 years. A little bit lighter and noticeably a little bit more red fruit driven, which is of course makes sense from those Bordeaux red wine casks. Still got a nice smoke to it. Not quite as dense as the MC01. Still getting nice hints of almonds, orange marmalade, sharper red fruits, little bit of alcohol. Quite nice. A little more candied than the other. Okay. All right, let's start with the tasting. MC01, here we go, Solange. Big arrival. Rich fruit. That Marsala note is very, very strong. If you have ever had Marsala, I can tell you already, this one does not skimp on that Marsala flavor. It's a rich Italian whiskey, Italian wine. Again, fruity and nutty. There's some dried fruit as it develops. You're getting a nice chili pepper spice on the palate, fresh cut wood. Goes into a medium long, creamy, orange dreamsicle smoke ash finish. Maybe even some nectarine in here. Hints of chocolate and mint on the back end. Pretty damn good. All right, first taste neat over here on the MRC01. Similar in the viscosity level, quite rich, red fruit, licorice, cherry, red licorice. As it develops, you're getting some more of those kind of stone fruits and plums. Transition to the development, not quite as seamless. This has got a bit more of a sharp edge on it. Chili pepper, ash. Vanilla and chocolate going into the finish. Medium long, chocolate cherry cordial. A little bit younger, you can kind of taste the youth in this. It doesn't hang on quite as long, a little bit of a quicker process as you drink it. Still quite nice. Okay, these are high ABV. One more time on the ABVs. MC01, 56.3, MRC 59.2. I'm going to put about 5 drops of water on both of these just to see what else we can tease out of it. We will start with the MRC01, and which is still lingering a little bit in my mouth. Let me wash that out, getting some nice kind of mixed berries. Okay, here we go with water. MRC01. Again, stone fruits, a little bit more like almost mineral. Hints of barbecue. Smoky, fresh. Better. That first fill bourbon really showing itself here with water and extending that development, giving this a nice body and creaminess while this red fruit from the Bordeaux cask is kind of bouncing around. A little bit tannic, a little drying, a little tart. Creamy, longer finish. It's pulled back a bit on that spice and edginess that we got on the back end of the development neat. medium long finish. This one's definitely benefited with water. Not quite as deep and interesting as I expected it to be, but not a slouch whiskey at all. Okay. Let's head on over to the MCO1. Nose is still pretty similar. I'm getting some more kind of butterscotch toffee here. So it's sweetened up even a little bit more, showing a little bit more oak, typical oak notes. Even a little brown sugar here. Wow. Orange marmalade, almond. It's all there. The Marsala is just, it's huge, but it is not overpowering the whiskey. You do get some of that fresh hay, honey, Bruichladdich malt in here. Seamless transition, a little bit of heat. A little bit of maybe that chili pepper still there, which is nice. Ashiness, smoke, charred meat, fruit. Medium long finish too here on this. This one I actually think I might have preferred a little bit more without water. Interesting how that works. It's just lost a little bit of its richness and full flavor to me with the additional water here, but not a slouch at all. Okay. Let's talk value. First of all, these whiskeys came out 2018-ish. Limited batches on this. So is this an exclusive whiskey? It's fairly exclusive. You can still find these on the shelf here in the United States or overseas. And if these are whiskeys you want to hunt down, price-wise, on the low end, maybe 130, on the high end, 160. So you are definitely paying for a young cask strength peated malt from Bruichladdich in the form of its Port Charlotte line that has been aged in some rather expensive casks. Red wine and Bordeaux in the case of the MRC, and Marsala in the case of the MC, and they both have a little French joke in there. Is it worth the money what you're getting value-wise? I'm going to put these both at a medium. I'm going to put the MRC actually at a medium. The MC will be at a medium high value. And we're going to discuss that a little bit more here in Final Thoughts, which we are going to do right now. Okay, so final thoughts here. First and foremost, standout delicious whiskeys from Bruichladdich. They really, you're hard pressed to find anything in the Bruichladdich line for me personally that I think is a dud. These quite the opposite, very delicious. They have done some other of these exploration series since the release of these, but both of these are quite good, showcasing exactly what Bruichladdich can do with its really nice casks, combined with its delicious peated malt. The price on these, of course, you are paying a pretty high price because these, again, somewhat exclusive, and they're using some more expensive casks, but you're also paying a little bit because they've been out a while. That said, if you're going to find one of these, while they are different in many ways, particularly their cask, the malts, the cask that they are aged in, take your pick. But I think overall, if you'd like one of these, you'll probably like the other. I think the standout here is the MCO1 Marsala cask. This one, I think, really hits the nail on the head. That 9 years, I think, is what's setting this apart. It's just, it tastes a little bit more mature, and is even a bit more drinkable at neat, which is really impressive. The Marsala cask is fantastic quality, and you can taste it all the way through. The MRCO1, a little bit younger, a little bit more sprightly, has a bit more edge to it, but still quite delicious. I would love to see this one at a little bit older of an age. I think that red wine Bordeaux works quite well with what they've done here, and adding that first fill bourbon to kind of carry this through was a great move. So two really, really good releases from Bruichladdich Port Charlotte line. But final scores, the MCO1, I am going to give this a very, very high praise with a 4.25 out of 5. This is just an absolutely stunningly good whiskey. And if you're a Marsala fan, you're going to love it. If you're a fan of sherry in general, there's just no reason not to hunt this one down. You like peated whiskey that is bottled, cask strength with integrity, and you're just not going to go wrong with the Port Charlotte MCO1. So 4.25 out of 5 on that. MRC 01, 3.75 out of 5. This one, I would say, again, if you find it a good price, worth grabbing it. But this one you might want to try before you buy, just to make sure that this is up your alley. You know, even as I've been talking, there's a little bit of a hint of a sulfur note that I wasn't picking up before. That's not for everybody either. But 3.75 out of 5 on this. So the winner of the face-off of shorts here is the MC01. Two good Bruichladdich whiskeys. I hope you get the chance to try them all. And with that, I'm going to send you to your malt musing. And of course, I'll catch you next time here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Slán